how do you break through barriers? Well, that's a very good analogy actually, because it's like we're practicing something and now we want some progress, right? It's like we've been practicing something for too long and then I want that breakthrough. I want to be able to do this thing. And I have used a simple technique to do this that most people would find insane, but not me, because it always works. And whenever we think we cannot get something, it's very often because we underestimate the amount of repetitions we need to do in order to get there. And alternate picking is a very fine example of that because, you know, it takes millions of repetitions of something as simple as picking on one string, literally millions. Then we come up with all kinds of strategies to see if we can get there faster, because we don't understand why we don't have any progress. But of course you can do a lot of the wrong thing. So I'm just going to assume that you're doing the right thing, which is focus on accuracy and precision in everything you do and not speed. Everything you do fast in your life right now, whether it be tying your shoelaces or brushing your teeth, everything that used to be extremely hard, like talking, speaking, reading, you didn't force that. You didn't push to become faster. You just became faster by doing it right. Magic formula, accuracy and precision. And then you do that over and over again for long enough and get in all the repetitions. But so how do we create a breakthrough? How do we break through barriers? And what you do when you're frustrated and it doesn't work this, right, is that you redouble, let's say, you know, this is your effort. This is how many repetitions you put in. This is how much time you put in. And this is the challenge. You're trying to learn something, right? And then you have X number of repetitions, X number of perceived minutes and hours you have to spend in order to get it. Now you will need a breakthrough. Why? Because you'd spent X number of repetitions and hours and you didn't get the result, but you expected to. Well, nobody told you, or nobody told us that we would get the result. We just expected it to arrive once I did X, right? So what I do is I say, okay, fine, right? Then I'll just do double. So I double the amount of repetitions and I double the time. I might not have more time. I can find more time if I check out the videos on Claus Levin's YouTube channel here in Guitar Mastery by watching videos that's about that. But let's say I have the same amount of time. Well, then I'll just do 2 months of practicing. So I limit, that's the next thing I do. I limit the challenge and say, okay, now I've been trying to do alternate picking on 2 strings. Let me do it on 1 string. Or I've been trying to master these 3 exercises or these 3 sequences. Let me just master 1 sequence. And then I double the amount of repetitions that I expect before I evaluate again. So I cut out the evaluation process and say, I'm not going to check in. I'm not going to jump on the scale and see how much weight I lost after a week. And I'm not going to check in and see how much I developed before 2 months has passed. And I'm going to measure every single repetition that I do, so I know how many repetitions I do a minute, and I can write that down. And I'm going to do 5 million. I don't care. The willingness to say, I don't care, I'm going to get the result. And I don't care how many repetitions I'm going to put in. I don't care how much time. I'm just going to get the result. That's resolve. That's commitment. And when I don't get the result, you know, I did 1 million repetitions over 2 months to try and get to the highest level of single string alternate picking with triplets, and I still can't do it. Okay, instead of going, I just double the numbers, baby. And I take, instead of taking, you know, if I did 2 strings, then I only do 1 string. So see, how little can I limit my, or I might go, I'm not going to play the notes, I'm just going to go. Right? That's what I want to do. So I make it as small as I possibly can, and then I overwhelm that with action, right? That's the mastery level behavior or strategy that I use. And so this is what works every single time. But, you know, if you're on a plateau, you can do the same thing. But and you might take a little bit of a break because you're kind of exhausted, I'm kind of frustrated. Okay, let's get this, baby. Let's really make sure that we kill it this time, right? It's the same thing in every area of life. This is what you do. You redouble your effort and you make the challenge smaller. Because once you conquer this challenge, the challenge you tried to conquer before will be so much easier. Don't forget to subscribe and go watch one of the other videos popping up on the screen here.